How a session with me looks like is the following. After welcoming the client, I would ask what the subject is she or he wants to work about. Mostly the client already knows, sometimes not yet. Maybe we would do a grounding, maybe not. And then I would just listen, first of all, what the client has to tell. Sometimes it's 3 words and everything is clear. Sometimes it takes half the session to meditate, hear the client, to let the client find his or her way through the chaos in the mind and in the heart. And that's okay. The first part of the session, if it is 3 minutes or if it is half an hour, maybe even longer, it is very important. We want to know what to work on. And as long as it is not clear, we cannot start. We already start by finding our way through. This is also part of the session. I have a problem, but I don't know exactly what it is. So let's find out. Let's find out where the center of the whole trouble is. And maybe that takes a little while. So what? So, after clarifying what we want to work on, mostly it is a belief. Mostly it is a thought that is very present and expresses the whole pain or the whole disaster or the whole situation. And then we would start with inquiry. We already did by finding out what to work on. But what I mean is we start with the work of Byron Katie by asking the 4 questions and turning the original belief around. And most clients, they don't even notice that we are starting with doing the work. The session looks like a conversation between 2 people, the client and me, deeply in meditation, deeply devoted to the thing where the client wants to have a look on. That's all. It's a conversation. It's a conversation where the heart and the mind are reconnecting to each other, where clarification takes place by itself. We are not working on clarification, it is the result of it. I would ask the questions of the work if the belief is true and if the client can be absolutely sure that it is true. We would move on to question number 3, and I would not say that. I would just ask, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought and you are in that situation? And the client, either with eyes closed or with eyes open, would look and see and describe. We absolutely involve the body sensations. We involve what's going on in the mind. We involve what is going on outside of the person by his or her reactions. We would also ask the question, what influence the thought has on the whole life. Sometimes a thought gives a very clear direction of how the whole life is experienced. We would dive into the world the client is living in when believing the thought. It's a whole world to explore. And by doing that, we are also honoring the person who is stuck with a certain belief. And sometimes I would just wait. Sometimes a lot. I would just wait. There would be no pressure for the client to give a certain answer. The client is allowed to be in his own process. There are clients, they are very happy to get questions by me, even different questions that add to the 4 questions of the work. Others, they don't need a lot of questions. They only need the main question, and then they go by themselves and explore. Exploration is such a healing thing you can do. Explore, see, realize. Okay, and then we would move on to question 4. I would not say that. I just would ask question 4 or something similar. I would ask who the client would be without the thought. And then we explore again. Mostly, we are anchored in a certain situation where the belief is very present. And then it is about re-experiencing the same moment, but free from the thought, free from the belief. And that's another whole world to explore, to get some realizations, to have some insights, to feel it in the body, the whole nervous system will give you a lot of information. Sometimes when we are in question 3, there is more tightness in the body. The breath mostly is shallow, and in the face there are some crumples. And a lot of times sitting in question 4, mostly, not always, you cannot predict, but a lot of times there is relaxation. There is a deep breath taking place. There is also relaxing of all this tension in the face. The whole body expression is loosening some tightness. And it's like the sky is losing the clouds. It's like that to go over to question 4. And the whole process is needed. It is not possible to jump immediately to question 4. Just ask, hey, why don't you skip the belief you have? It's not possible. You don't skip a belief. Never, ever. You only can look and see, and then it is a transformation that is taking place, and the belief is transforming to something else. Yes, and then we would come to the turnarounds and explore also them, the opposites of what you first of all thought and really believed. Like this, a session with me mostly looks like. Okay, that was it. Feel free to try it out.